unable. WavyOcho. Gonna get to how Ezra Miller lost everything. 6, 2020, Ezra Miller displayed concerning behavior in a since-deleted tweet that showed him strangling a woman to the ground in Iceland. Ezra's public. Damn, why he had his hand on her throat like that? Would later come out and say that the altercation was nothing but a spontaneous fight-or-flight reaction, sparked by insults and taunting by local teenagers. However, this would only be the beginning of a roller coaster that was to come. A string of arrests and criminal charges including felony burglary, harassment, disorderly conduct, and an abusive relationship with an underage female would all follow. The parents of
Wait, he was underage? Nah, he bugging.
stated Ezra used violence, intimidation, fear, paranoia, and drugs to hold sway over their daughter, who he met when she was only 12 years old. The Flash movie star was on his way to making a huge name for himself prior to these accusations. Why the sudden change in behavior, and will he ever be cast in a role again? Ezra grew up in a creative and supportive environment. At just 6 years old, they were training as an opera singer to help overcome a severe speech impediment, later even becoming a member of the Metropolitan Opera before pursuing their passion of acting. Miller's career in Hollywood started in 2008 with the lead role in the film After School. It didn't take long after for the actor to be seen in a number of other movies and TV shows, before hitting it semi-big in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. But this was also around the time that early signs of trouble started showing up. In 2010, Miller entered a brief relationship with fellow actress Zoe Kravitz. Although it didn't last long, it was a little concerning to some as she was 22 and he was only 17 at the time.
Damn, bro. She mad older than him, bro. She 22, he's 17. That's mad young, I ain't gonna lie.
In the state of New York, this is completely legal, but still concerning to say the least. Later in 2011, Miller was pulled over.
Part of New York, though? Upstate or New York City?
For a broken taillight. Police had suspicions of potential drug use due to the actor's behavior during the stop. This gave them enough reason to search his car, to which 20 grams of marijuana was uncovered. At the time, Ezra didn't seem too bothered by it, stating, "I don't feel like there's any need to hide the fact that I smoke pot. It's a harmless herbal substance that increases sensory appreciation." Unfortunately, this was just the beginning of a pattern of behavior and signs of an unhealthy relationship with substances. The charges were eventually dropped after only having to pay a $600 fine, and the incident was quickly forgotten about. Over the coming years, Ezra would achieve massive success in Hollywood as an actor, being cast in many popular films, most notably as The Flash in 2017's Justice League.
You want me to put into words how psyched I am to be doing this? Yeah.
Oh, he's an actor. Ezra Miller's an actor. I never heard of him though. I ain't gonna lie. Never like check up. You know, I never like keep up with him. You know, never noticed him.
That's not gonna work. I'm gonna start screaming. This is what I've been trying to do all day long. I'm too excited. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm more excited than it's cool to be.
Outside of the big screen, he was also building a reputation. After coming out as queer and repping the LGBTQ+ rights in his sphere of influence, they were a prominent supporter in the Me Too movement and advocated for reform in the industry regarding predatory behavior, later even going into detail regarding disturbing experiences with sexual predators in Hollywood, stating, "I've survived abuse for sure, in a lot of capacities starting from a pretty young age. I've been in audition situations where sexuality was totally being leveraged," then elaborating on an instance where a producer once tried to ply them with alcohol for predatory purposes. "They gave me wine when I was underage, and they were like, 'Hey, you want to be in our movie about gay revolution?' To which Ezra responded by telling them they're monsters." At this point in time, Ezra was a talented actor and an advocate for social justice issues, including things like climate awareness. Despite his brief issue with the law in 2011, Ezra had earned a reputation as an amazing performer and an activist for marginalized people in the industry, with brands like GQ even quoting, "Ezra Miller seems primed for a familiar kind of Hollywood success." It turns out he also plays in a genre-queer rock band, has gender-blind taste in clothes, and lives not in Silver Lake but on a farm in Vermont. Please God, tell us the next generation of movie stars is going to be more like this. Sadly though, this was probably the last moment in Ezra's life where he was seen in a positive light. After this, the cracks began to show. In 2019, Ezra's parents underwent a divorce. This is believed to be the event that began the deterioration of Ezra's mental state and the catalyst for their decline, starting with the Iceland incident. On April 6, 2020, what was captured on camera showed Ezra displaying major red flags in Iceland. A video surfaced on a since-deleted tweet of Ezra strangling a woman to the ground. This all happened at a bar Ezra frequently attended. Variety magazine was able to confirm that the identity of the strangler was in fact Ezra Miller. But by this point, Ezra was already getting into more trouble, but this time in Hawaii, being arrested twice, once for disorderly conduct and once for assault. In the first incident, they were accused of yelling obscenities at people at a karaoke bar and grabbing a woman by the throat. In the second, they were accused of throwing a chair at another woman and hitting her in the head. In a short period of time, Ezra began to display a severe decline in behavioral self-control. This was the third incident involving another woman where he was shown grabbing them by the necks or using...
Damn, this guy, man. This guy just crashing out, man. He just a crash out, man.
some kind of physical force, something that went against what he supposedly stood for. But it wasn't just physical force, accusations of grooming now also appeared. By June of 2022, Ezra Miller had been accused of grooming Dakota Iron Eyes, who at the time was only 16 years old. Her parents have since filed a restraining order against Miller, alleging that the actor had been using violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to control their daughter. Dakota's parents say that Miller met their daughter when she was just 12 years old at a protest. They allege that Miller began grooming Dakota shortly after that, and they have been using their fame and influence to take control of her life. Even though the restraining order was granted, the order was never officially served to Miller, and he continues to attempt contact. By this point, fans of DCEU called for Warner Brothers to recast their major role of the Flash in the upcoming DC Extended Universe film franchise. Warner Brothers not only refused to recast the role, but also refused to respond to the controversy at all. And if that wasn't enough, in the middle of all of it, another woman and her 3 children claimed to have been living on a farm owned by Miller in Vermont. She was attempting to distance herself and her children from an abusive ex-husband and found solace in Miller's farmhouse.
Claims against embattled actor Ezra Miller continue to mount. In a new report by Rolling Stone, a Hawaii father says he is concerned for his 3 children who are staying with their mom on the actor's farm in Vermont. The father claims there are guns and marijuana easily accessible to them. Rolling Stone spoke with both the mother and father in question, plus 2 sources who claim to have knowledge of the situation. The 25-year-old mother tells the magazine that Miller has helped her get away from what she described as an abusive ex.
But even problems here began to surface. The police attempted to serve an emergency care order in August of 2020, but were unable to locate her and the children on the property, as they seemed to be absent. This is where Miller claimed she didn't even live there. However, there was still a digital footprint online, with social media that showed the opposite. The Vermont State Police would only comment, "It seems to be in an attempt to evade service." That same month, Ezra Miller was charged with felony burglary by the state of Vermont after allegedly stealing bottles of alcohol from another home. He was set to appear in court in September, but the arraignment was later pushed back to October. Miller pleaded not guilty to the charges in October, and the next hearing was scheduled for January. But on January 12th, Miller pleaded guilty to the trespassing, but the burglary charge was dropped.
So to that count here, how do you plead? Guilty. And so long as you're on probation for the 1 year and complete the conditions successfully, the case is closed.
Miller's trespassing plea was approved by the court on January 13th of this year. After years of delayed production, the Flash solo movie was set to release in June of 2023, but the public outcry was giving the film extreme negative attention. In a dismissive remark, one of the production designers even commented that with the release of the new movie, fans would forget all about Ezra Miller's crime and welcome him as the Flash, a statement that fans didn't take too well. Miller has been open about his struggles with addiction and mental illness, and reportedly has been in and out of rehab in the recent years. It's clear that he's in need of help, but it's unclear whether he'll get it. For now, Warner Brothers and DC have both remarked on the controversy, but it is possible with James Gunn now working for DC, a full reboot and recast of younger and new actors may take place, and this may be the last time Miller is seen playing the iconic role of the Flash, or in...
That's the vid. Yeah, this guy definitely needs the help that he needs, bro. He needs help, you know? He definitely needs help. He just crashing out, man. Tell me what y'all think. Do y'all agree that he needs help, or do y'all disagree? Like, nah, he good. So let me know what y'all think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the vibes. WavyOcho checking out. You are.